The topic is Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Am I saying his name right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's Super Bowl champion Travis Kelce to you. And he hosted Saturday Night Live. He's in a bunch of commercials. So he's a crossover star. So it's no one's on the A list with T-Swizz, but as far as football players, he's on the A list. And, I always thought about this, about how she bounces around from guy to guy, and
hey. She does not bounce around from guy to guy. She's not the Pete Davidson. She's not the Pete Davidson of music.
No. I'm saying, if you let me finish, that was her reputation for a while. I don't know if it's still her reputation anymore, but I was just about to say, John was intimating that, if you do that and you're a guy in Hollywood or in music or whatever, you're like the bad boy, you're like the rock star. And then if a woman does that, then it's like, oh my God, what's wrong with her that she can't settle down with one man, But I feel like you guys will agree with this. She's the greatest artist of this generation, I think.
It's obviously, and the greatest at the business of this business as well. I mean, not only in performance, but in the business end too. I mean, come on. And then giving $50 million back to her roadie, not even her roadies, but to the bus drivers. She gave so much money back.
And she's the biggest star in the world. I just don't, as a general concept, I don't understand how people that famous deal with that. Obviously there's a lot of perks to that, but for someone to be that famous and go through life without having a freaking nervous breakdown every couple of years, I'm always amazed by that. But John,
I can tell you, Joe, that it is tough when you get to this level of any industry.
True.
It is very difficult, and you'll see. You're right on the cusp of that, and both podcasting and for West Point Thoroughbreds. So you're I don't know which one to bet on. You're gonna be in that position really, really soon.
And then I'll be dating Taylor.
And then you wish. How about we get the manservant who rubs your feet first, and then you can graduate to T Swift.
I thought you were the guy with the manservant, not me.
I do. I'm saying I'm at the top of my profession. So
okay. Once I have the manservant, that's how I'll know that I've made it to John levels of fame.
Exactly.
Well, John, what's your answer? Is she the greatest artist of this generation? I used to say Kanye. I love Kanye, but the Hitler stuff.
Yeah, he's gone a little off the rails.
kind of puts him on the other side for me now.
He's gone a little off the rails. I would have to say, because she came from very humble beginnings. It's not like Miley Cyrus, where she came into the business, because her dad kind of got her into the business, and then she went to Disney. I don't remember the rest of her career, but anyway, T Swift had to do this all on her own, as Patty would say, on her steel rod of a back that got her to where she is.
You can say that she got there on merit, which is the key word of meritocracy.
The metronome?
The word of the day.
And metronome has to do with music.
It's true.
So we went full circle there. You see how we did that?
That was great. I heard on one of the news channels, I won't say which I listened to, they said, well, that's a very meritocratic government. And I was like, wow, meritocratic. We're upping it.
Immediately called John. She was like, John, you got to tune in on the news right now. Yep.
I like how you put prop too. That was good, Joe. You're bringing props to the show.
I went out of my way to bring my phone just in case I needed the prop. What are the odds? But yes, the greatest artist of our generation, and just so prolific, has put out hit after hit, album after album. And, Megan and I have been trying to get to her concert forever. And I'm sure we're not alone. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there in TV land or podcast land that have tried to get to that concert and haven't been able to. So that's now a bucket list thing, especially because of how hard it is to get tickets.
Wow.
You can buy a movie ticket now. So she's putting it out next month. Yeah, the concert.
So we're going to that show, and Meg keeps on checking the seating chart. And she's like, why isn't it sold out? She's like, is this going to be a lame movie of a great show? Is there going to be people dancing? And I'm like, listen, it's not going to be remotely close to the concert regardless. So let's just go and try to enjoy it.
I think she's going to save the theaters this year, because theaters, with the writer's strike, the actor strike, there's so few things coming out. I really predict, of course, I don't want to jinx it because I'm me, but I really predict that she'll save the theater industry this year. I mean, this young woman has done so much and broken so many barriers.
Yeah. And it was still, yeah, like you said, a young woman. Like, she's younger than me.
Yeah.
And I'm the youngest guy on the planet. Like,
it's amazing.
She really is. I love when she does
a movie. Can I tell you a movie story of kids dancing in the aisles and blew my mind? So when my kids were little, we brought them to a VeggieTales movie. Do you remember that, Patty? VeggieTales, which is kind of like quietly hidden, religious, meanings in their movies. And as they continued to get more and more popular, it was less and less veiled that they were religious. Anyway, so we went and we brought the kids, and they were like 4 and 2, and we didn't really know the VeggieTales what they were, other than it was a cartoon and we can bring the kids there. And we sat them down and we watched the movie, and like 5 minutes into the movie, kids were breaking out and dancing. It was scary. It was like, oh my God, like they were possessed. They were going to be speaking in tongues if they could talk. That's how crazy it was.
They felt
that's how we're going to be if we ever get to go to the Taylor Swift concert. That's 100%.
So my neighbor actually bought tickets for his wife and his 2 daughters, high school age daughters, in Detroit. And it was cheaper to fly them to Detroit, have them stay in Detroit for 2 days, and go to a concert there than it was to get tickets for the New York shows.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Like, when we're open to traveling. If anybody else has any other cities they have tickets in, we will have desire, will travel.